Sanbon, Dumilam, Shin, Godam. Good morning. Goeiemorgen. I hope Pilabant. I'm good, I'm fine. Let's talk. I want to talk about the marriage. The level of marriage is in a critical condition. What constitutes a good marriage? This kind of a topic has been necessitated or has been triggered by someone on the not Instagram, and I think TikTok. He asked ukuthi umshado is still a blessing now. What is the marriage? Why there is marriage? Well, I'm not an expert in this, but it's only the opinion. Umshado was made to develop families, especially a family that will especially abantwana, children that will be under the same family, under one mother, one father. A family that will have some values, a family that will teach children how to grow up. That's the only reason why there is and there was the marriage. But the marriage, it happened in different ways. Like they did not in different. I'm trying to say that actually there are reasons why abantu beshado. The journey of women have never been easy in marriage. I think this question also was asked by a woman, and then it was still so worth the shot. It's still a blessing, and is still a blessing. The women have never have a fair price or fair play in marriage. Only men was been dominating the marriage or deciding in the marriage. It's a man who decides when to marry. The woman has to be ready every time to say, no, I'm ready to get married. A man can stay for the rest of his life planning, thinking about the wedding, but a woman has to wait for the man that he thinks would be a good man. Sometimes can wait until the man comes and say, look, I want you to marry you. And whether she's ready or not ready, but the man has to. The women have been ever ready, basically, because a man can come at the age of 18 and if you can't say no if you feel like it's your destiny to marry. A man can wait for the rest of his life until he gets 50 or 40 and then decide I want to marry. So a man has got all the time all to think about the future and again, looking back to the way how abantu beshada ngakhona. In early years, especially in monarchy, a woman was sent to bayoshada nosbanibani just because of maybe to touching the bonds on, say, the diplomatic ties. To which is okay, fine. When you hambo shada Spain from England, so that also was what we assist ngabalingani Spain. And then when the war, Spain will have to help us during the war. Or maybe a woman has to marry because I like that family. Maybe they've got money, or maybe she say cows during our forefathers' time. So we make a good family with that family. So can you go and see my relationship ties with those people? So a woman that didn't have any say in that, even a mother wouldn't say anything. If umnumzane have said the word about what you took and was one band, there's nothing they can say. And there are also some things of what we call arranged marriage, especially in churches. Also even in families. So when in India, if I remember, even in England during those early days, I'm saying England because England has never been shy about their cultures. There are so many stories about that. India ngakhula kuthiwa ingane uma isencane isuke isazi ukuthi even Masulumane actually Masulumane Mandia, whatever you call it, but they're all Indians in fact. I think they're Asiatics. You know when you grow up ukuthi ushada usibanibani, and usebancane seniyaziwa nishada usebancane ningakazi lutho, but when time come, when you grow up, you become a wife. So uyazi ukuthi uwife kasibani. So it must be cool like that. That's when things will be formalized. So those are the things that happen. And then again, there come a time when also the church started now to, I think the church or the religion, Christianity, try to make things much worth waiting. Like they will tell you that it's God command that a man must take a wife, and then they tell you how to behave in a marriage. A man has to love his wife, and the wife has to submit to his man. Then come this thing of polygamy, when a woman has to share a man, whether with two other women or three or four, depending on the man. That was not a woman's decision, but normally in reality, a man has to consult the first wife that he wants another wife. But I don't know if the wife has a say to say no, I don't want her. But well, I think it's what there was a woman had a say to say no, I don't want you to get this one. But I mean, ngokwazi kwami bathi ngokuzwa kwami bathi always a woman has to say a word about unawabo. I'm not sure about that. But growing up in that or living in that condition whereby you can't be sidelined as a woman, because now it depends on your life. If you don't bear in Lalifa in air, it means that you will not be a favorite. You will always be a second chance or second option or other option. So now, how can you live in that kind of a marriage? I'm just trying to I'm going to explain and the reason that why women were not, why I say women are not favored during the time in marriage. A woman still, even now, woman does not have any say. It's only a man who decides. So women have never been so lucky. And then, well, nowadays we have marriages, but our marriages are shaking in a way that the challenge now is that the women have risen from the dust. The reason why the women are treated like that was because they were not allowed to be independent, because abantu abagcina normally men ingane ngifunda egcina that 6 that 8, then why you gonna learn or until the universities, because you're gonna go to another house to other men and work umuzi wakho. Then a man has to go through all these trainings until university. But nowadays, now look, women have got their degrees, and some are working, and then it comes a time when you're not men enough, you will have to suffer. Nowadays umshado wethu awusekho strong enough ukuthi it depends now ukuthi are you understanding each other or not. Because if you say if you feel like a woman does not feel like she is treated well, she can leave that wedding. She's able to afford herself, even nengane zakhe futhi. So now there's a tolerance. Tolerance was based on the fact that the woman depends on a man. That was the only reason. So basically, what I'm saying is that, all in all, in this wedding thing, the person who was asking the question whether wedding is still a blessing, I don't think so. It's never been a blessing from the earliest times, but it managed to do its to be relevant, because relevance was to make families. Now if you look how families are, then we realize that umshado in the earliest days were enforced and it was working wonders. Nowadays, you wouldn't see a Nyaupe boy Nyaupe boys during those days, because a child has to grow in a family that afford, even if I afford, but a man has to hold the family in such a way that in PLC grand kind, because a woman is a imbowodo, it's a rock. Even into the I call that much helpful, but a woman has to make most well, we see I'm not saying now we won't be able to produce the produced elites, because we don't have that kind of a family values. But look at how things are happening right now. It's difficult, really. I'm not saying women are not able to handle their kids, but when there's no man in the house, a man who's got that voice of able to things will go AWOL. Well, yeah, that's my take basically. But I can go on and on trying to explain. But the matter is that wedding has never been an easy thing for everyone. The divorce now are left, right, and center. People get married for 5 years, 3 years, then they divorce. In early days, they like they stay forever in marriage until the death do them part. That's what I'm trying to say. But nowadays, 5 years down the line, for 40 years and ask yourself, how did it happen? And people of today, they ask themselves, how did you do it? 40 years of marriage? Yes, 40 years of marriage. Well, we have to sniff our armpits. Which exactly, where do we go wrong? Where do we go wrong in all this? Is still marriage worth doing nowadays? When I grow up, we will always go siyobhologa siyocula amaculo omshado because ziyawushaya somewhere. Sorry about that. Nowadays, when was the last time no bhologa? I can't even remember myself going out to Boloka, Simvalelwin, because of same shadowing for that in 2 weeks' time. Never. So it shows what marriage life is crumbling. It's crumbling. Do you understand? It's crumbling. Now it's a fragmentation of life. Ingane zalwa ngaphandle komshado zikhule zizodwa zikhule zikhulisa. We have no asinabo baba said how to live as a man. Like, for example, I grew up without a father. I grew up with my mom. Okay, I don't say my mom didn't do a good job to raise me, but there are things that maybe I thought I can learn from my father. I could learn from people outside. Luckily, I grew up with the people who could teach other boys. It's okay, because that's how they learn. And we used to, that's how we grow. We listen to them when they're talking to us. But nowadays, can I approach your child and tell how to live? No, they won't. Will still tell me where to go. And I can't even tell, hey, mfana, hey, shatan bafana. I can't even say that, because it's now mind their own business. Till now, when I grew up, we could listen to when they tell us, because that's how we live. Well, I'm not saying, actually, it's us who's failing, our upcoming children, because now we're saying those things. Yeah, but you know what? It's life. When things got introduced, it was not nice, and eventually people get acclimatized. Now we are acclimatizing in this life of not able to help, because it's how it is. Even if we know that it's a bad thing to do, but we continue. So it's not about that, just reminiscing about the old thing. So maybe if you have something to say, you can comment about our life as a community, 21st century community. Where are we really going to? Thanks for listening. I hope you will get something from this. Sorry for a long clip. So many things to talk about. Yeah, sure.